In this daily drop, it's a book recommendation. I haven't done one of those in a long time. Actually, it's going to be 2 book recommendations, so let's go. All right, everyone, I just finished up the Wednesday live stream. I'm now shooting Thursday's episode of the Daily Drop, and I thought it would be a good idea for you and for myself to change the pace a little bit after I've been going down. I'm still going down this rabbit hole on marking up and annotating stuff for live streams, but it's time for a little bit of a different pace. So I thought a book recommendation, or a 2-book, meaning a bonus book, which is a little bit of a surprise, would make a lot of sense. And what I want to talk about today is this book right here, out of print. It's called Matters of Light and Depth. It's by Lowell. I don't know why there's 2 L's in his name, and when he started the lighting company, because he is the cinematographer behind Lowell Lighting and all of those lights, the Toda, the Pro Light, the Omni, the DP light, all of those modifiers, the Rifa, all of those cool little pieces of kit, which quite honestly, for me, was really where I got my start in terms of lighting instruments and light fixtures that I actually owned. And then I started to acquire some other things like an RE Fresnel, and then another RE Fresnel, a 1K. It's all still around here, and every once in a while I even love to break out the Omni light, that 500 watt full spectrum quartz halogen light. It's just a beautiful quality of light, but it is a hot light, so you got to wait for it to cool down while everybody else goes out and has a drink or out for dinner. You know, when you're the lighting person, at least back in the old days, it was like being the drummer. Everybody else, you know, just walked out the door and you were waiting for those lights to cool down before you could leave. Okay, so Matters of Light and Depth. I just checked on Amazon, and there's other places like Abe's, and I'm sure on eBay where you'll find these, but there were quite a few copies available. And it's a book about lighting. Big surprise. I have 2 copies of this book, so generally if I have at least 2, it means I really like it. Lighting for Portraiture, I have 4 copies of, and it's just a really good reference book about lighting. And one of the things that I really like about this book is one of the first things he has in the book is something called The Best Ways to Achieve the Worst Lighting, with a bullet list. And that's a great way to start. And then he gets into hard and soft light and composing, framing, and composition. There's some stuff in here that's legacy that may be a little less relevant today than it was before, but he's also addressing still photography, tabletop, and there's a lot of diagrams inside of here. Obviously, there's a focus on lighting faces and people as well, and talking about exterior lighting. There's a section on a difference of night and day, and just a really good, I think, reference for people who want to understand lighting more. There's a lot of stuff inside of this book, and even a whole section, if it's something you're less familiar with, about metering and why that might be important. For me, metering becomes especially important when you are lighting for ratios and you want that to be consistent throughout a project, which is especially true when you're doing something like narrative work. So you'll see that there's just a lot of stuff in here, and also in terms of reflective light and reflected light. And he also has a great glossary of terms inside of here. So I would definitely recommend Matters of Light and Depth by Lowell. I think it is a worthwhile book to have in your library. And here's the bonus book. It's completely different. It has nothing to do with lighting. I went to Greece this summer. I've always liked Mediterranean and Greek food. This one is called Orexi. Feasting at the Modern Greek Table. It's by Theo Michaels. I think it is a wonderful book on modern Greek cuisine. I've made things out of this book, and I plan to make many more things. There's a whole section on flatbread. I did make some flatbreads here, and I don't think cookbooks are supposed to be precious, so I bend the pages and all of that. Rainbow tomato salad. I'm just going to show you a couple that I have in here. A red pepper and feta salsa, vegetable tempura, and look at that, very light batter. And then filled crispy phyllo rolls. What do I have on here? Giant baked beans and tomato sauce. Very good stuff if you like that. This one, ridiculous. Seafood pasta with ouzo. I have a bottle out in the house. Get that real licoricey taste, anise taste out of that ouzo. Slow cooked squid. If you're not a seafood person, there's plenty of other stuff from the land inside of this book. Speaking of, red wine marinated pork with coriander seeds, and I'll just do a couple more. Pork fillet, if you're in the UK, with smoky white beans and pickled apricot salsa. Have not made that. Plan to make that in the future. Greek new potato salad, a traditional Greek salad, as you'll notice here, as is the case generally with a Greek salad. There's no lettuce. In this country, the US, they tend to put it in there all of the time. And just a lot of other really fantastic stuff inside of the book. There's some sweet stuff in here as well, of course, and maybe some libations. It's an awesome book. Let me just tell you. Phyllo sharer with whipped citrus yogurt and metaxa cherries. I don't even know what metaxa cherries are, so I've got to figure that thing out. There it is. Orexi with an exclamation point. So you've got two books here. The one that really matters to this channel, Matters of Light and Depth. And then you have Orexi, which is modern Greek cuisine. All good stuff. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.